Sources have said that there has been no compromise on the interests of farmers. This is the big story that we are tracking, especially with government sources coming on with regard to the trade deal. It has been said agri and dairy sectors will be protected in the new trade deal that has been finalized. India will buy oil from anywhere in the world. India will decide on buying oil based on market rates. This is how the situation has in fact come. Didn't buy oil from Venezuela because of sanctions is what the sources are saying. Government sources say that there has been no compromise on the interest of farmers, especially with regard to the India-US trade deal. They also went on to say that agriculture and dairy has been protected. India will also buy oil from anywhere in the world. India will decide on buying oil based on market rates is what government sources are saying. They've said that they didn't buy oil from Venezuela because of sanctions alone. India will continue to buy crude oil from anywhere in the world where there are no sanctions based on market rates. It did not buy from Venezuela when sanctions were in place. Now that sanctions have been lifted, it will buy from there. The 500 billion figure is because the trade deal is being unlocked. It imports 40 to 50 billion worth of goods and invests a similar amount. This figure includes deals for aircraft, etc. In fact, we are joined in by our input editor, Brijesh, who joins us with more details on this. Brijesh, how do you in fact see that there seems to be a lot of speculation that was going on as to what the details could be, but now the government saying that certain sectors are being protected, especially when it comes to agriculture as well as with regard to dairy. And on the other hand, oil. They say that we still keep our autonomy as to and our independence on to decide who we purchase oil from.
Well, I think, one of the big spanner as far as India-US trade deal was agriculture and fisheries. And today morning, Secretary Brooke Rollins, who is Agriculture Secretary of United States of America, she tweeted out and said that, thank you, POTUS, for once again delivering for our American farmers. And she went on to say that new US-India deal will export more American farm products to India's massive market, lifting prices and pumping cash into rural America. Now, what this tweet did was that it triggered a political furor in the country where the opposition parties, started hitting out the government saying that they are not, coming out with the details of this trade deal, and also, whether how they are going to compromise the farming community and farmers' interest as far as India is concerned. To which Indian government has now categorically denied and said that that the farmers' interest will be protected at any cost, and all of these key sensitive areas will not be compromised come what may. They have also issued another clarification by saying that India will continue to buy oil from anywhere in the world, but the caveat remains is that there is no sanction on the place. And depending on the market rate. So they have also clarified and said that the reason why they were previously not buying oil from Venezuela was the sanctions that was imposed there. So these are very, very important clarifications as far as, whether there was any kind of compromise over the interest of the Indian farmers, and B, about, buying it only from Venezuela or, America.
Also, Brijesh, one of the key factors has been with regard to this particular deal is that Venezuela, the oil that has been coming from there, it is up in the international market. Now, India buying from it, but does it mean that we are compensating it for the drop in Russian oil?
Well, what we've been given to understand is that, yes, there is a significant drop as far as purchasing oil from Russia is concerned. As Indian sources, government sources have made it very clear that, that they cannot be boxed into a corner, and they're saying that they will continue to buy oil from anywhere in the world, provided there's just one condition, which is that there should be no sanction on the place. And other than that, and they even cited the example of Venezuela, that they could have, instead of Russia, they might have gone to Venezuela, but the reason why they didn't was because of sanctions, and it raises the cost in a prohibitive fashion, and that is the reason why they did not go ahead. So they have made it very clear that the real driving force behind purchase of oil is going to be A, the cost of the market, and B, only whether there is any sanction placed on it.
Also, when we in fact see the larger trade aspect of it, when we talk about oil or dairy or others, it looks like somewhere the opposition might in fact raise the issue about certain areas that are considered to be red areas. But the government saying that they have in fact protected India's farmers' interests. But how is it that are certain parts of our agricultural sector is going to be open for it? And it looks like the opposition is probably going to raise those aspects as well.
Well, Verghese, the devil lies in details, and we'll have to wait and watch for the exact wordings of how this trade deal will unravel itself. This particular tweet by Agriculture Secretary of United States of America, where she's saying that the Indian market has been opened, agriculture market has been opened for America. It did trigger a big a political slugfest with opposition accusing the government of compromising the interest of our farmers. But the government has now made it very, very clear that there's going to be no compromise as far as the interest of farmers is concerned. There's no question of compromise as far as our dairy products are concerned, and it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Once the more details emerges, a clear picture emerges as to what are the exact contours of this trade deal between India and US. I think there'll be a lot more clarity on as far as how much whether our agriculture sector is going to be compromised or not, and how much of entry does American industry gets as far as our agriculture and dairy products sector is concerned.
All right. And at the same time, now, of course, the big question is how we deal with Russia. Russia has been one country that has been under duress, especially of the war, and we had been buying their oil. But how the big question is how is Russia going to, in fact, see this particular deal between India and the US, and probably seeing its one of its biggest oil markets drying up?
Well, Russia has been an all-weather friend as far as India is concerned, and I think they also are aware of the current geopolitical situation, which is right now unfolding as far as united relationship between India and United States is concerned. India has made it once again, made it very clear, as it had made before, when America was exerting pressure on them to desist from buying oil from Russia, saying that that India is in a way financing the Ukraine war. And financing the Russian army to carry out attack against Ukraine. But India had made it clear then, India has made it clear now that that their interest, the guiding point of their interest is going to be the interest of the country, and they will go and buy oil from whichever place they have to. It all depends on the pricing, which is going to be the key factor as far as India's purchase of oil is concerned.
Also, when we look at our domestic markets, the kind of products that we're going to be flooded with or not is not yet known, but it looks like most of them are going to be within the access, because one of the things that they've said they're going to remove the tariffs to near zero or not is still to be known, because as I said, the devil is in the details. But given a chance, it looks like the Americans will have a very competitive market to deal with on one side. At the same time, getting an access to Indian market means finding out a huge consumption base.
Well, we'll have to wait and watch out for this particular aspect as how it plays out as far as, how much access American industry gets as far as our agriculture sector is concerned or dairy sector is concerned. The tweet by the Agriculture Secretary points to this direction, that Americans company will have unfettered access as far as the Indian agriculture market is concerned. But Indian government is also aware of the political sentiment which is attached to the agriculture sector and also our dairy product. And, it'll be interesting to see, what is the level with which American industry is allowed to infiltrate or, to get an access as far as American companies are concerned. I think, there'll be a lot more clarity in the next 24 to 48 hours about, what exactly the kind of deal which has been done as far as Indian agriculture sector and dairy sector is concerned. Verghese?
When we in fact take a look at the entire deal in progress, larger areas such as gems and jewelry have also been coming into play. Leather industry has also had a fillip, and of course the biggest has been the textile industry, on which most of the exports have been. This deal is more about the export economy, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. I think, the government is trying their level best, and this is the reason why, this has been dubbed as, many are calling it as the father of all deals, this Indo-US trade deal. And if you look at the kind of positivity it has given to the sentiments of the Sensex market, which is usually an indicator of the mood. There was a massive, almost 4,200 point jump, and people who sold, people made 20 lakh rupees profit. And, very interestingly, Goldman Sachs has also come out with a report saying that in the next calendar year, in the next financial year, India is going to gain only because of this Indo-American trade deal. There's going to be a 0.2% jump as far as their GDP is concerned. So as of now, though key details are yet to emerge, I mean, as of now, it looks as a win-win situation for both sides.
Also, Brijesh, there have been probably a series of FTAs that we have been looking at, especially when the tariffs have been coming in. We have been looking at ensuring that we do have or diversify our exports and markets as well. So we have seen the UAE FTA, we have seen the UK FTAs, we have seen the EU FTA, which happened also, which is considered to be the mother of all deals. And in March, we are looking at the Canadian Prime Minister coming in itself, and we're talking about another trade agreement probably with Canada itself. So did the diversification of process actually help in ensuring that this trade deal also happens?
Well, I think, what it conveys is also that India is now a huge market, as and the kind of agreements India is entering into, the trade agreements India is entering with these countries, whether it was the European Union market, which allowed, Indian economy to grow, substantially grow, and have also access to the European market as far as Indian industry is concerned, because, there was a certain dilemma and unpredictability which was attached to the way United States President Donald Trump was behaving vis-a-vis Indian interest, and the imposition of 50% of tariff, 25% of tariff, and all was not good as far as our economy is concerned. So I think with the deals related to EU FTA and other countries as well, it is providing a solid alternate market as well for the Indian companies, and many believe that after the EU FTA, America also realized that it cannot indefinitely delay this trade deal with India, because America and American companies are also acutely aware of the fact that India is a huge market, and Indian and American industries have huge potential if they want to invest, and vice versa. America provides a big market for the Indian companies. So I think as of now, it looks like a win-win situation for all sides involved. Bhagis?
Well, thank you, Brijesh, for in fact joining us with all those details. Well, it looks like the government sources have in fact indicated that they will protect the interests of the farmers.